What's up, everybody? Coach Mills here, and with patch 1.06, the game is broken, so, you know, just, no point in playing it anymore. No, I'm just kidding. But there are some bugs that came out with the 1.06 changes, some changes that were unintentional, and we're gonna break all that down, as well as break down the entire 1.06 patch, give you a news roundup of all the things going on in esports right now. But before we get started, we got something special for you today. The GameLeap website is officially launching. And on the GameLeap website, we have high-quality advanced guides that you won't find anywhere else. Map guides, mechanical courses, psychology pro, whatever you need, we got it for you at the GameLeap website. We've pulled radiant talent like Tano to make in-depth character guides for you. There's just so much on the GameLeap website. Do yourself a favor, if you want to improve at Valorant, go check it out in the links down below. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Now let's first break down patch 1.06, and then we're going to talk about all the bugs and different things that happened as a consequence of some of the changes to the patch notes. Now right off the bat, we have to talk about the weapon updates, and there was only one type of weapon that really got changed, and it was shotguns. Now, as many of you have played with shotguns in the past, you know how accurate these shotguns can be when you're jumping. Maybe someone jump peeks you around the corner, or maybe a jet flies at you and literally kills you when she's touching the skybox. Whatever the case may be, shotguns were being used in a way that was just fundamentally different than a lot of what was going on in Valorant in general. Now, in order to compensate for that, one of the weapon updates really increases the spread penalty when in the air from 0.5 to 1.25. And I know these numbers are small and it might not seem like a big deal, but this is a huge deal. This greatly decreases the accuracy. 1.25 is more than double how inaccurate it was before. So shotguns, realistically, are not gonna be anywhere as good while you're in the air as they were before. Now, does that mean they're still usable while in the air? Yeah, you could definitely still use it, but you're not gonna be pumping out the max amount of damage anymore. When you're just jumping or flying on jet or flying on rays or whatever, you're not gonna be able to just like pump someone for pretty far away and be able to kill them with ease. It's gonna require you to be a lot closer to them. So this just really gets rid of that cheese style shotgun strat. And I'm sure those of you who used it, y'all might be a little salty about this, but those of you who got enrolled by it, you're gonna be really happy that this is no longer in the game. Now, for their reasoning of this, they wanted to really get rid of a lot of those problems that happened, the frustration that happened when you died to a shotgun that was in the air. So this is really targeting that, but they're also stating that they're gonna be investigating more potential changes to shotguns now that we're rested, because they came back from their break, if you don't remember that. But now that they're rested, they're gonna be thinking about ways to change the shotguns in general, because shotguns are pretty powerful. I'm sure a lot of you know just how powerful shotguns are. The Judge, the Shorty, they're very, very consistently trading up in value. So I think that they might be addressing some of these weapons later on. They definitely don't want this game to become like a shotgun fest. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about these changes, and what do you think the directions of shotguns should be in this game? Do you think that they should be an integral part of the competitive ranked experience, or would you rather have shotguns like unplayable and just never used in this game? Definitely let me know in the comments down below. I'm interested in your take on this. Now up next, we got to talk about agent changes, and there was only two big agent changes. They're basically intertwined, and it's the audio visuals for blinding effects of Phoenix's curveball and Breach's flashpoint should indicate when to turn away better and when it's safe to look again. Now, if you look at these leaks that we're gonna play right here, these Korean leaks that came out before the patch came out, you can really see that Phoenix's flash does not just indicate when it's better to turn away, right? It's going way farther than it went before, and if an enemy's around the corner, it's gonna just go right past them and not flash them. So a lot of people were asking, is this just a change to Phoenix? Like, is Phoenix gonna have a very far moving flash? And some people said, hey, this is just a nerf to Phoenix, this is a buff to Phoenix, whatever. Well, the problem with this change, and it's really stated well in this comment on Twitter, the problem with this change is that it's really hard to flash through doors effectively. You have to stand a far distance away, you can't hug walls, or else you'll flash your entire team. And on top of that, the predominant pro strategy is actually to flash out of smokes. You can't do that at all with this change. You try to stand into smoke and you flash, it's gonna go really far away. If an enemy's standing outside the smoke, they might not even get affected. And so a lot of people were like, what the heck is this? It's not stated in the patch notes, whatever. Well, actually, this is a bug. I don't know how they did this bug. I have no idea how they actually just tried to change like some minor visual things until the Phoenix flash just going really far away. But according to Big Papa Morello, he said it's an unintentional bug on Twitter. So it's gonna be fixed soon, probably in the next day or two. You don't have to worry about this bug anymore. But for those of you who are worried about your favorite main being changed or whatever, that was just a bug and it's gonna get patched out pretty soon. Now, the next thing we gotta talk about is the new mode cancel. And how many of you have ever been in a game, right? You load into the game, you start the game, and right off the bat, someone DCs and they leave. And you're like, are they gonna come back? Is this game already lost? And then multiple rounds go by and you have to surrender because he doesn't come back, and there's no way that you win that game. And it's just really frustrating because you're like, that should have been a game that like we had a chance in if he wouldn't have just left. Now I have to surrender and I'm gonna get a greatly decreased. It's the worst feeling in the world. But they're actually making a change to this, or they're working on one, where as long as you're not in a 5-stack, they will add in a new mode cancel, where if someone leaves like right off the bat, the game will just end as is. So you don't have to worry about, you know, going into a game that you already know you're gonna lose, or hoping and praying to the GameLeap gods that your ally comes back. You don't have to worry about any of that anymore. So this is a really cool change, and it's a really like small one, but it will definitely feel better, and I'm excited for it as well. Now for the next story we gotta talk about is about early development pictures that got leaked out that were really cool. These development screenshots really paint the picture of where Valorant was, because as we know, it's like 12 years in the making. So Valorant's been in development for such a long period of time, and you can really look at them. They're actually pretty cool. If you want to go check them out, I highly suggest you do so, because it's just really cool to see from an artistic perspective and from a game design perspective. You can really see how the maps actually slowly changed. Some intricacies of how the maps were actually changed, whether it's like CT being bigger or smaller. They definitely changed things a little bit here and there. No map was like dynamically overhauled. They still had an idea in their mind right off the bat, but they did do small changes, and they're actually pretty interesting to see, as well as just looking at the game from like such a bare bones level. It is definitely cool to say the least. And something interesting though, in a Morello video he released it recently, he did state that changing maps after they've already been released is like one of the last things that they want to do if possible. And I know a lot of people have come out, there have been videos coming out about how Valorant map design is not that good, or Valorant map design is something they disagree with, or whatever. But regardless of whatever your reasoning or your feeling on the maps in the game, Morello thinks that targeting a map or changing it is just one of the last things they want to do, because it really messes with your perception or your remembering of a map. They don't want to just change a map dynamically and then all of a sudden everything you remember about the map is not there anymore. They would rather keep the same maps throughout the life cycle. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what your favorite map is, what your least favorite map is, and do you think your least favorite map needs a change, or do you think that there's something else they could do in the game, like buffing abilities or something like that, that would make it a more enjoyable experience? Let me know in the comments down below. Now for our next small story, we got to talk about these leaks that came out that basically are just designed to help streamer players more than anything, and it has it to where you can auto reject friend requests, you can anonymize yourself where you can hide your name for players outside your party, you're going to be able to use generic names for players outside of your party. It's just basically to help streamers prevent themselves from getting stream sniped, which is nice because of course no one wants to get stream sniped, of course, but for the vast majority of us this doesn't matter. But for watching your favorite streamer like Wardell, you're not gonna have that annoying kid that just gets on there just to make a joke or whatever. You're gonna have legitimate people playing in their games. It's gonna be a more competitive experience for streamers, which is definitely nice. Now for the esports stories, which are pretty huge actually, we went over a VOD review of Homeless, which was a former CSGO team that played pretty well in Valorant. I was really impressed with them. Well, first off, Latsky, who's a fan favorite, everyone knows him from the pro days, everyone knows him as a streamer or whatever. Latsky got cut from Homeless. So some of you might be sad about that, but Latsky didn't really perform in the way that they wanted to. I know a lot of you like him a lot, but he just wasn't really cutting it, and they really needed a jet player, someone who could pop off and be the ace of the team. Now, that being said, however, the 4-man squad of Psalms, Def, Poised, and Superman, they all got signed to Dignitas, I think is the way you would pronounce it. I'm not even sure. But they got signed to this team, and they're looking for that 5th player. 5th player to be announced, and they put it on Twitter. Who do you think should be their 5th player? If you have someone you think should be their 5th player, make sure you go reach out to them, because maybe a 5th player will get signed to this already really strong roster. I'm excited to where they're going to go from here. But if you're a fan of Homeless, then this should be really good news for you. Now, the last story we're going to talk about is the new Cloud9 Korean roster of Bazzi, Munchkin, Try, Doya, and Smoothie. And some of you are going to be like, why do I care about Valorant Korea? Well, if you don't know about Korea and their esports scene, Here's the big takeaway that you need to know from someone who has lived through it as an Overwatch player. If Korea becomes a predominant figure in the Valorant scene, and then players play against each other on a global stage, I promise you, Korea will absolutely dominate. Now, I'm not saying the NA and EU can't compete, but this has happened before when Korea sets their sights on a game. They have the culture, the mindset, and everything about their community designed to basically print out esports athletes. And that happens in pretty much every game they touch, and a lot of the games in the past, like a lot of the heavy shooters like CS, didn't really build up a lot of popularity in Korea, but it looks like Valorant is, with big orgs like C9 investing in it. Specifically, I know Bazzi and Munchkin from their Overwatch League days, and those players are absolutely nuts, playing on some of the best teams in the league. So you're gonna probably be seeing a lot of crazy clips coming out from Korea, and I really hope we're gonna have these World Cup type things, global stages where we could see NA versus EU versus Korea. It would be really cool to watch these players battle it out on the global stage. Now, that being said, the brand new GameLeap.com has top to bottom courses designed to help you improve as a player. No matter where you are, there's always space to improve, and at GameLeap we have high quality positioning, map, psychology, mechanical, agent, whatever you need to improve in Valorant. We got in-depth guides, so definitely do yourself a favor, use the links here or down below, and I can't wait to see you there. See you next time.